Welcome to Stuff They Didn't Teach Me in Sunday School. There was recently a Senate race in the state of Missouri, my home state, in which I never could figure out what either candidate really stood for. I could tell from the commercials that they didn't like each other very much. One candidate would call the other a liar, the other one called the first one an incompetent, and it went back and forth throughout the campaign, with one attacking the other, but never telling us what they stood for. Sometimes politics goes that way in our country. That doesn't help us decide on candidates. We don't think of politics in the Bible. In fact, when we think of David, we probably don't think of a politician. But in the next few sessions of Stuff They Didn't Teach Me in Sunday School, I want you to look at David as a bit of a politician. I think he rises far above the dirty politics that we see so often in the media today, but still a politician. You might think that after the death of Saul, 2 Samuel would start out with David sitting on the throne and everything being just fine. You might think that, but you'd be wrong. Because when David becomes king, he becomes king down in the city of Hebron, and king only over the tribe of Judah. In opposition to David, Abner, who had been Saul's general, sets up a man by the name of Ishbosheth, isn't that a great name? Ishbosheth, who is Saul's son, and sets him up as king over the remainder of the tribes. So we have an ongoing battle between Ishbosheth and David for control of the whole country. David down in Hebron, way down south in Judah, and Ishbosheth up in the northern tribes of Israel. We find out some other things about these two guys. David has a general by the name of Joab. And in one of the battles, Abner, Ishbosheth's general, kills Joab's brother. Now, Joab is a name you're going to want to remember, because Joab is bloodthirsty, Joab is cruel, and Joab will do whatever it takes to stay in power in David's kingdom. The first chance that Joab gets, he kills Abner. Later on down the line, in chapter 4, you have another event in which some assassins come in and kill Ishbosheth, the king in the northern kingdom. They come back with the news that they had killed Ishbosheth, show up on David's front steps with this news, thinking that David would praise them and give them all kinds of rewards for killing his rival. Doesn't happen. David kills the ones that assassinated Ishbosheth. David is going to make sure that he treats Saul's family with respect. It's a political move to make sure that he doesn't do anything to put Saul's family in a bad light. The other thing that David does in this first section as he sets up his kingship is he goes back and gets a wife who'd been given away. You might remember that when he killed Goliath, one of the prizes, one of the things he got for killing Goliath was he got to marry one of Saul's daughters, a woman by the name of Michal. And when David went on the lam running away from Saul, Saul had given David's wife away to another guy. Well, once David establishes himself on the throne, he wants to establish himself in Saul's family, so he goes back and gets Michal and brings her back into his harem. And so now one of his wives is Saul's daughter. He's treated the murderers of Saul's son with judgment. He has treated Ishbosheth's memory with respect, and now he has installed in his harem the wife he once had, Michal. And he is beginning to ingratiate himself to the people of the northern tribes so that he can and will eventually become king over this whole nation. David's a shrewd politician. David knows what he's doing. And he's also God's man. He's going to unite this nation. He's going to lead them. The glory days of Israel will be the reign of David. And yet David's life is not a model for Christians in terms of how to live your life. There are valleys and there are mountaintops in David's life, but he will always be called a man after God's own heart. That doesn't mean he's perfect. That doesn't mean he's not shrewd. That doesn't mean he's not a politician. It just means he remembers who the real king is.